So, namaste, dear Muktananda ji. Good to see
Namaste
you.
back to you, Sarkandya.
How are you?
Very good.
You look really handsome today.
Well, thank you very much.
And also your whole setup. Like I can learn how to make it professionally. I look like some, I don't know. I'm somewhere. I'm in the office, by the way.
You say I look handsome today, you look handsome every day.
Okay, let's talk about Tantra. Okay, because you're coming soon and you're giving a workshop in our school in Tara Yoga.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about Tantra because there are a lot of misunderstandings. And just explain me again what is Tantra and where is this weird connection to the sexual part? Because a lot of people think Tantra is only sexual. Why are these all these? I don't know. Everybody who's saying I'm going to a Tantra workshop is always a little bit connected to these things. Where it's coming from? Because from what I learned, it's actually not much about sexuality, right?
So I'm going to answer the second question first. The reason so many workshops about Tantra are about hanky panky is because people like hanky panky. They are crazy about the hanky panky. People, for most people in their life, relationship and to have a wonderful intimacy is very important and rightfully so. It has
Mhm,
been important for you, it's been important for me, it's been important for so many of our students.
mhm,
And indeed, it gives a certain joy and a flavor and a fulfillment in the life.
mhm,
And also because this thing about intimacy is not taught
mhm,
clearly. It's not taught well. We don't get an education, not from our parents.
mhm,
Usually, it's a very repressive one that gives us shame and guilt about
mhm,
this part of life. And school gives us a terrible education about it. And so, without the right education, people are fumbling and fumbling. And some people, when they feel, hey, I get a chance to learn about the arts of intimacy, they are very interested to have a fulfillment in that aspect of life, which is wonderful. There's nothing wrong with that.
mhm,
Coming back to your first question, Tantra is a path of spirituality. It's a path of spiritual evolution. And Tantra is having a certain attitude, a certain state of awareness and mind. And
mhm,
the key thing that we have to remember about Tantra is that this wonderful system is using all the resources of the human being and all the resources of the universe to evolve us to cosmic consciousness.
mhm,
And therefore, Tantra uses the body in the form of Hatha Yoga to liberate oneself from attachment and identification to the body and
mhm,
to re identify spirit as Atman. Tantra uses the energies of the being, the etheric energies, the emotional energies, the mental energies. And Tantra also uses the sexual energies, subliming them. And there is a path in all the various directions in Tantra. There is one path, which is a tiny bit of all that Tantra is, as you were saying before. And this path is called Tantric, Tantra, but it deals with relationships and intimacy.
mhm. How is it connected? Like, how can be intimacy between a couple be related to yoga and to spiritual awakening?
So, your question is, how does this become a yoga?
Yes, exactly.
It becomes a yoga, first of all, when the intimacy is approached with a certain awareness and a certain intention. And the intention is not just about having pleasure, but the intention is about riding the pleasure to unveil the truth and also through the sublimation of the vital energies. That as the intimacy advances, the vital energies are held back, they are conserved within the man and the woman, and those vital energies are transmuted, they are transformed, they are sublimated, and they are invested in your Anahata, Vishuddha, Ajna, and Sahasrara chakra.
Mhm,
And thus, through the process of this inner alchemy, that energy which is lead is transmuted into gold.
mhm,
And therefore, the intimacy can begin with lust, with desire. But when you come to the conclusion of it, it turns to love, prayer, and consciousness. And when this is done every time in this way, then after 10, 15, 20 years, the lust has permanently been transformed into prayer, into consciousness.
It's a very interesting concept, you know. Like I can
Indeed.
remember when I was a child, and I grew up in a quite good spiritual environment where, for example, I remember when I had a walk with my uncle, and my uncle said, "Come on, let's sit down and let's make a prayer together." It was difficult for me in the beginning when I went into yoga and tantra, that there is an option that I can do the same with my woman, you know, that
Even better.
yes, exactly. And but that I can do that in the bedroom, you know, with
Yes.
intimacy. Like my question is also how to find the balance between there is a holy part in in the intimacy, and there is the biological part which is very deep inside of us. How to handle this edge on the razor?
The basic premise of Tantra is this. While everything beneficial, not everything, because there's a lot of darkness and evil in the world also.
Hmm.
So Tantra is using everything that's beneficial, that's good, towards the superior awakening, towards the spiritual realization. As you're saying, the Tibetans have said it for a long time that this path of Tantra is walking on the razor's edge. And if your intention is not pure,
Hmm.
and if you do it only for the sake of fun and pleasure, then for sure you fall off. The way you stay on that edge is when your intention is pure. Just like if you do Hatha Yoga and you do Hatha Yoga just for fitness, or you do Hatha Yoga to evolve your consciousness, to purify your soul, to grow into love and awaken the consciousness.
Hmm.
Similarly, if you do the Tantric intimacy and your goal is just fun and pleasure, there's no future in this. There's no eternity in fun and pleasure.
Hmm.
All fun and pleasure is eventually choked by pain. We all seen it. We've gone through it hundreds and millions of times. The eternity is in bliss. The eternity is in happiness.
Hmm.
And therefore, this path, you can stay on the edge, on that razor's edge, and go very deep and very far when you are vigilant, when you know what you're doing and you know why you're doing it.
Hmm.
And you know that pleasure is not the goal. Pleasure is the horse that you ride to the goal. Pleasure becomes a vehicle. And what an amazing gift it is. Because unlike many other spiritual paths, and no criticism to them, this is not a criticism to them, they work in a different way. They have their own methodology and it fits a certain kind of people.
Like the typical monastery.
Yes, the
Uh,
monastic paths,
mhm.
Buddhism, Christianity, Islam in its monastic ways, yoga in those ascetic ways, and they're
Mhm.
perfectly good. They get you to the cosmic consciousness.
Mhm.
But then there are other people who are not the beating, self-beating kind of people. For example, and I know you, and I know many others who are close to us, we are people who like to enjoy life. We are people who like to have fun. We want to enjoy this manifestation. We want to celebrate, not to reach enlightenment with a face like this. As Rumi said, we want to go to God dancing,
Yeah.
not frowning and beating ourselves.
Yeah.
And Tantra is exactly this. It's for people like you and me, and for others who listen, who find themselves. We want the joy of life.
Mhm.
And Tantra says, look, we can do this. And the intimacy is an amazing way. But remember always the vigilance. Why are you doing it? Are you stuck in your ego? That's another thing. If you're caught in pleasure, fun and pleasure, fun and pleasure, you fall. Two, if you get caught in desire, more desire, because this path is about transcending the sexual desire to become the master of it.
Mhm.
Right now, most people are victims of the desire. They can't control it, they can't do anything with it. Once it comes, they're like victims of it. Tantra says we can get you to be the master of that desire, of course, with practice and in time.
Mhm.
That's where we want to go. But
Mhm.
the amazing thing is, you know how when people do judo,
Mhm.
right? And in judo, you don't just oppose your enemy like this.
You
You
use
use their
power.
energy, right? Like Aikido, you use their own momentum, their own
Yes.
force, and with their own energy, you put them down where
Mm,
you want them to be, right? Tantra is like this. It takes the desire, the vital desire for
yes.
intimacy, and it simply uses its own momentum and urge and power, and it pushes it up and transforms it, and it spiritualizes it.
It sounds even just too good to be true, that there is a path to higher consciousness through fun, through joy, through dancing, you know. Uh, but like for me personally, I was always looking for this, and for me, this tantric way is one of these. And from what I learned, tantric was never a mass
No,
path. It
no, it's
was
an esoteric
always
path.
secret, small circles,
Yes,
hidden, and so on.
yes,
And it
yes.
became more and more popular the last decades. And still, the funny thing is, the real Tantra teachings, they are not so
No,
available outside, right?
no, no, because they stop at fun and pleasure.
Yes.
Most of these tantra workshops, they're about touching and massage and whatnot,
Mm.
which is all great, but
Yes.
it just stops there.
Yes.
There is no teaching about the holding back of the sexual energy for men and women.
Mm.
There's no teaching about the sublimation of that, the conversion of that energy. There's no teaching about detachment to the ego. To
Mm.
one of your previous questions, you said, how do you fall? Here's another one. First answer
The
was you
third
chase
one.
pleasure, but the
Yes.
second thing is that you do this thing with ego. Men do it and they say, oh, look at me. I'm such a cool lover. Oh my God, I can give pleasure to women. Oh my, oh my, oh my, like this. And they get bombastic and egocentric. And
Mhm.
then they are lost. And the women are like, I'm the most beautiful woman in this size of Mars, and oh my, oh my. And then the women are falling for the ego. This is not the way to go. So
Mhm.
falling for the pleasure, falling for the ego, falling for the desire, and not transcending it, not detaching to it, this will always be a limitation. And
Mhm.
then at best, you're doing what's called red tantra, tantra just for pleasure, but this will not give permanent happiness.
So
This will definitely give pain.
let's talk about this workshop that you will give. It's a 1 day workshop. It's a kind of introductory workshop for
Yes,
our students and for all
yes,
people who are interested in it. So
yes,
how will be the content? Like, will there be practices? Is there
yes,
nudity? People are scared always about these questions. So let's
yes,
clarify
yes.
this when how you
Yes,
hold your
let's make it
workshop.
clear. So the format of the workshop will be that I will teach, give oral instructions, guidance, initiations like this, give you the information, and then there'll be exercises. Attention, there is no nudity. Nobody is going to have to take out their clothes. If somebody wants to take out their clothes, they will not be allowed to take out their clothes. There is no there is no touching of the genitals or the erotic zones of men or women. But the exercises are either exercises in which you sit alone and you focus on something, some movements of energy, or you hold hands with a partner, like a man and the woman hold hands in a specific way, and they sit, they make eye contact, or they close their eyes and they do experiments with energy
Mhm.
in themselves and with their partner. And of course, some of those exercises can have a more erotic sense to it. It cannot be very dry because this is a workshop on a special kind of intimacy.
Mhm.
But in the yoga hall and in the course, things are very at a certain standard so that everyone is comfortable, everyone is relaxed, and everyone can have a very good, wonderful time and learn in a relaxed environment.
Mhm.
Safe.
So is it better to come alone or better as a couple?
It's not better or worse either way. When
Mm.
I learned these things years ago myself, I didn't have any partner.
Mhm.
I was single, I was seeking a partner, and I just went and I learned the things. And I started practicing many of these practices by myself because there's solo practice for men and women. And I started practicing and I got good at it. But then when I met a woman, then it goes at another level of practice.
Of course.
So you can learn these things and then be prepared for when the right person comes along. If you're already in a relationship and you come as a couple, then it's wonderful because then you can start practicing immediately.
I want to cut one more topic about this shame and guilt topic. Are
Yes,
a lot
please.
of people, even though like it's a little bit contrary, the whole topic, because
Yeah.
we are living in a time where sexuality is in the movies and everywhere, like everybody is, all the pictures that we see and the
Yes.
TV
Yes.
shows and so on. It's a very present topic, and it maybe
Yes.
in the history of humankind, it was never so explored like it is right now. And
Correct.
still,
Correct.
there is a huge shame and guilt in the deeper places of
Absolutely.
the conscious mind.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about this because once I will never forget it. Once a student of mine told me she wanted to attend the workshop, but she didn't because she's scared that somebody read her name in our lists of registration and
Yes.
connect her name with Tantra or with, I don't know,
Yes.
sexual
Yes.
stuff because
Yes.
we didn't know what we are doing, and
Yes.
that
Yes.
is as exactly how you said it before. And she said, I'm ashamed, like I don't want to be a part of a workshop where I need to face my shame and my guilt stuff. How can we help people with this topic?
Well, the workshop is going to give a certain awareness about where comes the shame from. The
Mhm,
shame and guilt and the feeling of sin. Where does it come from? Because it comes from somewhere and it comes for a good reason.
mhm,
I can tell quickly something just now. It comes from all the religions. So these spiritual paths, they are right because the regular way people make intimacy loses the vital energy. It creates more attachment to the partners. And the spiritual mysticism, it tells very clearly that if you lose your vital force, you can't progress almost at all on the spiritual path. Intimacy is not the problem. It's the way the intimacy is done. That's the problem. And Tantra is giving us an entirely different way to make the intimacy
mhm,
physically, energetically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually at all the levels. And Tantra is correcting it. And Tantra is actually giving you more than that. Tantra is showing you that this form of intimacy is actually inherently spiritual,
mhm,
that it holds a deep spirituality within it
mhm,
and harnesses its power. So eventually, everyone has to simply, when you feel ashamed of something, and there's nothing really wrong with it, you just have to go forward and
mhm,
do it anyway. It's like
mhm.
you face your fears, so to speak.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. Uh-huh.
There's no other way. It's
For
about
me,
the right education. That's what's important.
that was one of them. Like, I was always thinking I'm free of all these things. Like, why should I be ashamed of it? But when I dived deeper into it, I felt not only that I have it inside of me, but all the other people that they are looking so free and so open.
Absolutely.
They have all the same
Absolutely.
brainwash inside.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everyone. The
And
people who are repressed, they
mm,
have it. And the people who are out there showing themselves wearing half revealing clothes and, being very free with their intimate life, even in a chaotic way, even they have serious shame, guilt, and feelings of sin about it. This
mhm,
has to be transformed.
mhm.
It's a wrong education.
For me, it was one of the biggest healing factors through the study of these different Tantra workshops. And you
Yeah,
can dive so deep into this whole topic of it. And I
yeah.
really wish for all my students, because they are so, as we talked before, there are so many hanky-panky addresses with this topic.
Yes,
I
yes,
really wish them good addresses, authentic addresses, and teachers where they really can transform internal processes in their
yes,
relationships, in
yes,
their intimacy. So thank you
yes,
so much that you offer this workshop. It
yes,
will be
indeed.
a 1 day workshop. It will be a 4 hours workshop, a very short one.
Yes,
Everybody
yes,
can attend. Either you are having experiences in this topic or not. It will be definitely some new stuff for you. It will be connected with some practices. And I'm very happy to announce these dates above or below this video. Yeah.
Yes, yes, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate life. Let's celebrate the gifts. Let's honor the path of Tantra and the amazing practices and teachings it gives us. If it's been given, why not implement? Why not learn and put it into effect?
Yeah, great. Thank you, dear.
Welcome, my dear Sarkan.
Namaste.
Namaste.